Our second lead this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 years ago, it was exactly an evening like this. Mumbai, the city of dreams, was winding down after a hard day's work. People were on their way back from work. Some were meeting friends and family at five-star hotels and quaint little cafes. These hard-working citizens who had no idea that this day would be a day that would haunt the collective memory of a nation for eternity. For 60 hours, India's financial capital was under siege, held to ransom by 10 Pakistani terrorists for 3 days. This picture on your screens of the iconic Taj Mahal Hotel ablaze now defines those 3 days of terror. 166 people across the city were killed that day. Mothers, fathers, sons, friends, daughters, family. A young army commando, a seasoned police officer, a much-loved newspaper editor. For their families, 26/11 is not just a date. It's a moment they haven't moved on from. How can they? There hasn't been any closure. Yes, you can argue Ajmal Kasab was hanged, but all of us know he was just a lowly foot soldier. A bulk of the real perpetrators are in Pakistan living a good life, and 2 of the perpetrators are in American jails. It's been 15 years. 15 years of waiting, hoping, and praying. For 15 years, the NIA has been trying to extradite David Hedley and Tahawwur Rana. Hedley pleaded guilty and turned approver and escaped the noose. But today, hope floats as regards Tahawwur Rana. A US court has ruled that Tahawwur Rana can be extradited to India. Now, we know extraditions are long, legal, political processes. Rana has hired the most expensive lawyer in LA to challenge the order. But it's a step forward in getting justice for 166 citizens who had become victims of mindless terror that originated in Pakistan's army headquarters. We know where it came from. Today, India has reacted with caution to the development in the US. Listen in to what the Foreign Secretary of India is saying today.
Insofar as the question of Tahawwur Rana is concerned, we are in very regular touch with the US authorities to ensure that there is speedy and early extradition of Thawwur Rana. We have all seen the judgment which was given by the local US court there. That conversation of ours with the US side is continuing.
The process to extradite Tahawwur Rana will be long and painful. Our agencies understand that. They, like the rest of the country, know that there can be no forgiving and no forgetting an act that maimed Mumbai. This was enemy action, not at the border, but in India's financial capital. The terrorists behind it have to hang. Today, once again, I want to take you back to Mumbai, to the iconic landmarks that came under attack that dark day in 2008. My colleague Abhishek is joining me from the Leopold Cafe. Shweta is joining me from the Taj Hotel. Abhishek, let me come to you first. I wonder where you were when 26/11 was playing out in your city, if you have any memories of it, and whether you and probably the people around you think that a US court approving the extradition of Tahawwur Rana means that they are a step closer to closure.
Definitely, I would first, it's been more than 14 years now. And, it's been more than 14 years and we have seen how, the agencies are struggling to extradite and today being the big development. And I would like to show you, this is the Leopold Cafe and you can see around the bus. This was the same time when the attack took place and, similar amount of time around 9 o'clock. And still these are the memory of fresh, these are the bullet marks which we can clearly see over here outside the cafe. And I would take you inside the cafe and we'll also try to speak to those staffers who were present at that point of time. And this was the entrance, one of the entrance. And I'd also like to show you the another entrance from there. From the entrance where terrorists were open firing on such a huge crowd. This is the crowd which was present at that given point of time also. And the busiest street, the Colaba street, I've shown you outside. And, in this scenario, there was constant firing by those terrorists and they were hurling grenades inside. And you can easily imagine the kind of situation that have been taken place at that given point of time. And people were in worry and people were rushing outside, blood oozing around. This was the situation at 26/11/2008. We are joined by, these are the staffers who have witnessed that deadly attack at that given point of time. Sir, firstly, you were present at that time when the attack. Yeah, all of the three.
Yeah.
You can express what was the scene at that given point of time.
It was packed like anything. People were there on the road also. 9:40 was the time. So they threw a grenade first. So we exploded over here. There's a hole over there. Then they barked inside. One took the position this side, one that side. And 4 to 5 minutes they just started to spray the bullets up, down, anywhere. And we lost 9 people, including 2 of our staff. And from here, they went outside the road. That road goes to the Taj. Then they started to kill anyone on the road. Then finally, they were killed in the Taj after 3 days.
It's been a struggle for more than 14 years now. And today, a big significant development has took place. One of the key conspirators will be extradited to India, Tahawwur Rana. Justice is yet not been done to those lives lost. What do you say on that?
Okay. It is a very big day for the Indian people, a big day for the people who lost their lives. May their soul rest in peace, but we'll be more glad that the main people get caught someday or another.
Definitely, Shreya, as I pointed out, this is the situation and this is the similar time when the attack took place, more than 14 years back. And this is the voice. He's already telling that, justice should be done to all those lives who were lost. As you pointed out, Kasab was just a foot soldier, but key conspirators are sitting in jails in US and as well as Hafiz Saeed, who is the mastermind, is roaming free in Pakistan. So definitely steps should be taken by the agencies in India to bring them, to extradite them and, take the trial ahead and book them.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much for that report. In fact, from Leopold Cafe, these terrorists made their way to the Taj Hotel, and that is where Shweta is joining us from. Shweta, as we see Thawwur Rana's picture on our screens right now, one can never forget this image, the image of the iconic Taj Hotel burning, ablaze, and it was ablaze for days. Let's put that picture back for our viewers. That, this is in many ways a picture that still defines 26/11 for most of us. I remember I was in the newsroom. I know that you would be a young student then. Can I ask you what the reaction at the Taj Hotel has been to the fact that now there is a possibility that Tahawwur Rana can be extradited to India, that at least one of the masterminds and perpetrators can be brought to Indian soil and be tried in an Indian court?
Well, absolutely, Shreya. In fact, this is a big win for India. 15 years of long wait, and this is the iconic hotel. This is the Taj Hotel. It is known worldwide, and this particular place, all we remember is how it was ablaze, and the terrorist, of course, the kind of attack which was going on. You know very well what Abhishek has explained through Leopold Cafe staff and the workers. Here I'll show you probably through visuals. I can explain what actually took place the other day. Before this live, in fact, Shreya, we were talking. My video journalist is showing you the visual. Look, somewhat similar to this boat, how the terrorists entered the seashore, how they hit the city of Mumbai, how aimlessly, mindlessly, they have killed more than 166 people, including 6 Americans, and of course they were killed, but in the entire surge of 4 days, what we all know is the wound which can never be, which can never, heal, the kind of scar they have given. Over to this, the Mastermind. In fact, Shreya, this is the place, this hotel in United Nations. We know that the External Minister of India, S. Jaishankar, has not left even a single stage, that he has always hit back at Pakistan. This is a big win for India, where after 15 long years of wait, Thawwur Rana will be brought back to India. We know for, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for getting us, Shweta, pictures of a resplendent Taj Hotel. Looks beautiful. It was renovated, it was fixed, and look at how beautifully it stands, tall and proud despite all that has happened. I think reflecting the mood of this country as well, that you can come in, you can attack us, you can do what you want to, we'll come back and get you. Meanwhile, we'll pick ourselves, dust the dust off, and stand tall and proud. Thank you very much, both of you, for getting us those voices from Mumbai. Now, who is this man India hopes to extradite? Thawwur Rana is an ex-Pakistani army doctor and a childhood friend of David Hedley. He's the one who aided Hedley in getting to Mumbai to recce targets for Lashkar-e-Taiba. His visa agency in Mumbai was Hedley's perfect cover. Now, despite his denials, US courts have clearly said that Tahawwur Rana was completely in the know of Hedley's terror plans and provided material support to execute them. He was sent to prison by a Chicago court for 14 years, but he was given early release in 2020 after he contracted COVID. He was put back in jail after India's extradition request to the US. And look at this man's audacity, ladies and gentlemen. His hands and the hands of David Hedley are covered in the blood of 166 innocent people. And he, along with his friend Hedley, had the audacity to ask the Pakistani army to give their highest gallantry award to the 10 terrorists who had mauled Mumbai. There is a special place in hell for these people. But first, before going to hell, they need to be tried in an Indian court. But will that bring closure? I'm putting that question to two people who are perfectly qualified to answer that question. P.K. Jain is a former additional DGP of Maharashtra. He was the IG security at that point of time. And Dilip Mehta, he was at the Taj when that attack took place. Dilip Mehta, can I ask you what today means for the many people, not just in the city of Mumbai, but across the world, because we tend to forget that there were foreigners who were killed as well in the attack. There were at least 6 Americans. What this day means for 166 families across the world?
Very well. Thank you, first of all, for inviting me on your channel this evening. I am truly a delighted man for having learnt about the extradition of Mr. Thawwur Rana into India, one of the key person who helped David Hedley in connivance to plant 26/11 attack, and I was one of the victim and hostage, still going strong here today after 15 years. But I must tell you, the agony which we all felt is something which is indescribable. And I suffered extremely difficult task when that evening, when I went up the elevator. I never knew that the same elevator is not going to bring me down after 9 hours of being a hostage and a victim, of course. So you're right that we all feel very agonized, and we are confident that now the perpetrators, one by one, are being brought to books, and they all have to be given the highest kind of penalty in terms of hanging in India after the due process is completed by India. So today is a big day, as I've heard about some of the victims and people who suffered. So I'm also one of them who is very delighted this evening, I would say.
Okay. But is closure anywhere near PK Jain? We know what extradition processes are. Long, painful, legal and sometimes political processes as well. The Prime Minister, of course, is going to the United States of America next month. The news, the development is coming right ahead of this visit. But given the way the extraditions of, say, Lalit Modi have panned out, should we even hope? Yes, a US court has said what they have said, but the fact is that Thawwur Rana, financed by the Pakistani army, has hired one of the most expensive lawyers in Los Angeles, which means that there will be a challenge to the judgment that has come out today, and the process will be a never-ending one. Mr. Jain, that question was for you.
And this man was taking lives. In fact, after his arrest, he was arrested for this 26/11 attack in the US. But his conviction came in another plot of terror on a Danish newspaper, where he was planning a terror attack on a Danish newspaper. So the man was very much known to the concept of terror, and he was very much aware of the plans and execution of the terror attack in Mumbai and some of the places where the attack was planned. Now, as far as the extradition part is concerned, there's a long process in this. We have only won the first battle. That's why you heard the Foreign Secretary of India taking a very, very cautionary kind of approach. Because after the district court's judgment, it is going to go to the High Court, then to the Supreme Court. I mean, he's going to challenge it with all his might. The guy is backed by the Pakistan government, Pakistan army, and the ISI. So resources are not a problem. I'm sure that it's going to take some time before he comes to India and faces the legal system in this country. The battle is going to be long. We have already been experienced this kind of difficulties in a country like the UK and now in the US also. And the extradition of this person will not be that easy, as I understand it. Shreya.
Okay, it will not be that easy, but we have to hope, sir. We know it's not going to be easy. We have seen that in other cases as well. But there has to be some sort of closure. No one can think that hanging a Ajmal Kasab alone is closure for these 166 families. It is, because we know he was just a foot soldier, a brainwashed foot soldier. We know who the real culprits are. We know that those culprits are sitting in Pakistan, supposedly in jail, but really state guests. And then there are two of them in the United States of America. One cannot be extradited. That's the nature of things. But Thawwur Rana can be. And let's hope, for the sake of all those 166 families, that it happens sooner rather than later. But I know what you're saying. We need to be cautiously optimistic. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. PK Jain, for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Dilip Mehta, for joining us and sharing your story as well. With that, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. Up next, the big developments in the Supreme Court as regards the Kerala story. That's up next. Do stay with us.
Powered by Timex, choice of the